Hi, Darren Hall here from bet72.com. Just a brief video to touch once again on football trading and maybe a little bit of a lesson to sort of everyone out there. I know we're sort of very positive and always very upbeat in terms of the systems and the strategies and indeed the software that we use, particularly the in-play trading scanner. But yesterday's trading session, although not as bad as you'll first see if you look at this screen, did serve as a little bit of a warning and a little bit of a wake-up call, and even for me personally, who's been doing this for a little while now, just shows that you don't need to get too caught up in the moment, or you do have to keep your eye on the ball. You'll see here we were trading on Tuesday night, the 27th of September. It's a big league, a big card of Champions League games, obviously English league fixtures as well, right across the Football League. So there was a massive amount of games, particularly between the sort of 7:45 and 9:30 period. So so a lot going on in terms of the scanner, a lot going on the in-play trading chat room as well. And I think it's important at that stage that you do have to maintain your focus and your sort of discipline, because it's very tempting, as I think we said before, just to jump on board as many different things as you can and to get involved with far too many sort of trades or opportunities which do get flagged up. Very easy to sort of take your eye off the ball, or to lose your discipline, or to get involved with things that ordinarily you wouldn't be getting involved with. So your sort of filtering's got to be right, perhaps some of your pre-match analysis as well, and don't feel that you have to jump on board everything that's actually there. Now, having said that, we've got a screenshot here which sort of contradicts that a little bit, but I'll try and pick the bones out of it and just explain a little bit of what actually went on here. And it's not quite as bad as we first thought, but it just serves a bit of a warning, because there's a couple of times when really, on reflection now, looking back of it, I should have just stepped away and not got involved with a couple of the trades that were actually there. But you can see here we're looking at a £92 loss. First caveat I'd say at that is this screen does also include markets we were using for some of our match betting and free betting offers that we actually had. So this is actually intermingled with bookmaker offers as well. So if we just clear that up in terms of what we were actually involved with, we had the Dortmund-Madrid game, Real Madrid game, where we had an offer from BetStars, which was bet 50, get a free £20 bet. So we actually bet obviously £50 on over 2.5 goals there. We'd actually laid it, so it was effectively no loss. We'd taken £28 back from the bookmaker, so that was a no loss. The one above, which was Leicester Porto, both teams to score, that was an in-play offer from Ladbrokes. Bet £20 in play, we get a free tenner on the Celtic Man City game tonight. I think we got on both teams to score. We did it at half time because that was the easiest way to get on board without anything moving in the odds, and we took both teams to score no at I think it was 1.83, and we laid it off around about 1.9. So small loss there of only a pound anyway. We just slightly underlaid it. So again, that sort of takes care of that. So in terms of the returns, we've already taken back money off of this actual figure. And the other one as well, the Leicester Porto, in the match odds market, we've got a £25 loss there. But we were actually on the BetStars offer as well, which was the spin and bet offer, and we actually got a 1.5 times boost. If you want to check any of these out, they're all on the bet72.com website, and that was a boost as well. So basically, net of that, we were betting £20 on that as well. So on the match odds market, we ended up just round these up plus 45 on there. So we actually made £45 out of that market. We got a £18 back there, so that's 63 and a £28 return on that one. So that's 91. So you can see here we're virtually coming out as scratch in terms here overall of our trading, because we've taken into account those other losses. So this is money that's back in the bookmaker and we've just withdrawn. But also what we did gain as a virtue of the fact we got a £20 free bet there on that one. We got a £10 free bet there. And because Leicester scored 1 goal, we got a free fiver there. So effectively our position was, we lost £1, maybe £1.50 I think it was in terms of the bookmaker, in terms of the difference between the bookmaker and the betting exchange. But we gained £35 in free bets, so we should be able to cash those out for around about £30, which we can do either on the football again tonight. We might use it as some insurance for trading, or equally we may just knock it out on the horse racing a bit later just to build our bank, so we've got a bit more in the pot to trade with later. But anyway, so basically overall, if we assume we're going to get £30 out of that, then we made sort of between 28 and 29 pound on the session. You can see it wasn't necessarily a particularly long session. We had a bit of a later night game there in Brazil that we just dropped in, and the irony of that, really, I think, and it just shows how trading works, and it can be quite frustrating, particularly for new traders. You can go through all of this, and there were a lot of ups and downs, and some of these trades were there was a pre-match trade in there. Particularly, we went more into the Leicester game because we knew we were on these sort of free bets for goals and things like that. So this wasn't a normal sort of in-play type one. We set something up pre-match and then took it over in play. So we got slightly different stakes. Normally, if we're just betting in play, then we would stick to this sort of £5 liability rule for the purposes of these videos anyway. So that's why some of the figures are a little bit different there. But the frustrating thing is, really, we've got one game there in Brazil where we're sort of net for £12 profit, which is more profit than we made for all the other Champions League games and the league games that we were actually involved with. Yeah, we got some obscure game in Brazil which I was just working late and it popped up on the scanner and it was worth getting involved with, so I just dropped it in as an aside trade from there, and we actually made more profit out of that than all the other ones sort of put together by the time we took the other things off. But you can see here that we've still got a little bit like we talked about on the previous video. Copenhagen Bruges game was very good. We just got involved at half time, so that was pretty much risk free all the way once the goals started coming in. But this is what I just wanted to highlight. There's a couple of trades in here which sort of, this Monaco Leverkusen game, that was the trade of the day, which was in the chat room. So we just sort of followed that anyway, because we were in the chat room anyway, so that was going along. But a couple of other here, I was a little bit annoyed at myself for getting involved. There was the Hartlepool Luton game and MK Dons Bury, and especially the MK Dons one, because basically that trade was Bury were 1-0 up, but we did fancy MK Dons to get back into the game and at least get a draw, or at least get in a position where we could trade out. They actually got back to 1-1, and we'd actually laid Bury and we'd backed the draw as well. Laid Bury and backed MK Dons £5 each, and MK Dons did score, so we were net for 0 on the draw market, but then we had sort of £23 to play of MK Dons, and obviously at home pushing for the victory. And because of a couple of these other games that were involved, I got distracted looking for that, and by the time I got back to the MK Dons game, and again not a very liquid game because of the league that it was actually in, by the time I got back to that game, Bury had scored again. I mean, they ended up winning 3-1 as it was. I didn't trade out of it. There was a potential at one stage to trade out for £6 profit. I missed that, and it ended up with a £10 loss. So really, that's a £16 swing, and all because really I let my attention get a little bit diverted through something else that was happening. So whilst it's attractive when there's a lot of games and a lot of opportunities coming out, then you've really just got to sort of keep your wits about you. We're trying to manage some other positions here, so it was a bit of a schoolboy error by me in terms of a little bit of over trading. Just took my eye off a ball, and you know what happens as soon as you take your eye off a ball when you're going to drop something. So that was sort of my annoyance of the evening. Again, just be wary. It's tempting on these big nights of football to jump on board and get involved, this and this, and it's, you know, there's shout outs coming along and there's people jumping on different things, but just have a plan in your mind and sort of stick to it, and don't have this sort of fear of missing out. The fact maybe people are jumping on something else. If you've got a clear pathway that you want to go down, fine. If you want to go in and just follow a couple of the guys in there, or you just, you know, the scanner throws up one or two things that you think are of interest, then but the key is all the time that the game is in play, your money's on the table, your money's in the market, and you've got to stay on top of that and in control. So out of all of this and everything that goes on, it's that one that really is irking me. And you can look at it and it's only a £10 loss there, but you know, there was a £6 win on the table. I didn't take it, so that's £16. And on the basis of I sort of ended up virtually scratch on the night with some free bets, then that's sort of the difference. You know, you can see if you start doing that 2 or 3 times, you know, in a session, or over a course of a week, then that can soon sort of build up, and you just, you know, foolishly you're just leaving money on the table. So keep your focus, keep your discipline, and in answer to people who have been emailing in and saying, you know, why do we only show winning trades and things like that? Well, you know, we don't win all the time, obviously. I mean, this particular night, again, we have won because we've got the free bets to sort of adjust it with, but it's very much about discipline and the focus and just keeping your eye on the ball. So anyway, I hope you found that useful, and obviously we'll be on board tonight with the next lot of Champions League games. There's a few attractive ones there. We've obviously got some free bets to cash out as well. And if you're about, then hope to see you in the chat room again later. And again, if you want any more information about the products or the services or anything to do with you know, the free bets or the trading, or indeed combining the two, drop me a line, info@bet72.com, and I'll be delighted to answer any questions you have. Okay, I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers, bye bye.